Welcome to the Magic Money and Marketing Podcast. I'm your host, Jennifer Donovan, a psychic business coach, strategist, and wealth activator for coaches, healers, and entrepreneurs who are ready to activate their millionaire frequency and step into overflow by scaling to seven figures and beyond without sacrificing their freedom or soul. With over 2 million in sales across my online and offline businesses, I know what it takes to create real sustainable overflow. And through my work, hundreds of entrepreneurs have stepped into their highest wealth timeline, collapsing income ceilings and calling in 30K, 50K, and even 100K months with more clarity, ease, and magic than ever before. Inside this space, we blend grounded strategy, energetic mastery, and a whole lot of magic so you can create wealth that flows, a business that expands you, and a life that feels as rich as it is free. This is your space to activate your millionaire frequency and live inside your overflow era. You're here for millions, magic, and more life. So let's make it inevitable. Hello, my loves. Welcome back to another episode. Now, have you ever caught yourself thinking, what if they pay me and it's not worth it? Or they think it's not worth it? What if I raise my price and they expect too much? This is actually not a fear of charging more or of raising your prices. This is actually being afraid of disappointing somebody. And that fear is what I call the disappointment code. And it's quietly distorting your energetic field, your leadership field, and it's blocking your next level clients from coming in. Whether you are trying to attract clients who are paying 5,000, 20,000, 50,000, or 100,000. And in today's episode, I'm going to be breaking down exactly how this fear shows up, how it sabotages your most powerful moments and offers, and what happened when one of my private clients collapsed it and signed a 100K client effortlessly within days of our session. So this fear doesn't typically announce itself as a fear of disappointment. It kind of disguises itself as being thoughtful or responsible. But the way it really shows up is, maybe I should offer a lower tiered option just in case. Or what if they don't get the results? Let me just add one more bonus. Let me just put one more thing. Let me just extend their call a little bit longer. It'll show up as like, I really want them to get the results. And so you'll bend over backwards and do things that, really in your body are a no, but you're doing this just to please the client and in hopes that they won't be upset or won't be disappointed. I'll also see this come up as, let me prove the value first. Let me prove how good it is. Let me get the testimonials, and then maybe I can raise my rates. All of this is the disappointment code in action. And it doesn't just live in your words. It lives in your energetic field, in the micro tone of your voice. So even if you are saying the words perfectly, the tone of your voice will be tweaked slightly. It'll be in the subtle tightening of your chest, the way that you hold back at the close of the sale conversation, like just that momentary hesitation will come through energetically and will block those high cash months, the pay in full offers, the big high ticket sales. And again, this isn't about strategy or clarity. This is about your energetic field not contracting and not having a fear that you're going to let someone down. Okay. Now, a lot of times I will also see this as like people have made energetic contracts or vows that they've made to themselves that they'll never let someone down, even if it means letting themselves down first. I will see this when we've had mentors that have not delivered what they said that they were going to. And so we felt how we felt about, somebody else doing it to us. And so we vowed we're never going to have someone else do that or feel that way. But it creates this contract that ends up repelling the dream clients that we want. Right? And the disappointment code will distort your frequency in ways that will make your dream clients feel kind of unsure about working with you or feel like, oh, this person isn't the right or this offer isn't the right one for me. Because what you'll do are things like over explain. You'll layer in content, you'll put in all of the disclaimers, you'll try and justify just in the attempt to like feel solid within your body. And I want you to just ask yourself for a moment, like when you get into that stage, when you think about over explaining your offer, take a deep breath and ask yourself, would I say this if I fully trusted myself to deliver? Um, I will also see this come through when you offer before they're ready. So you try to make it easier by giving a strategy in the DMs or layering bonuses early, trying to add in extra calls, extend the calls. You'll start before they've even said yes to you or no to you, you're already putting in new things, hoping they will say yes, adding in more. Notice when your generosity is really actually the avoidance or the uncomfortableness. A lot of times we try to avoid feeling uncomfortable, and that's actually where we need to get the most comfortable is in the uncomfortable. Another one is when you pause in the sales conversation. That 1 second delay of hesitation before you state how much it is. That's your fear 100%. So I want you to track what happens in your body when it's time to say your rate out loud. This is when your nervous system may be firing. Like when I tune into clients and start looking at their offer, looking at their pricing, and I will see their nervous system, it literally will look like it's being electrocuted. It'll be firing on all these ways and it'll be like, oh yeah, I can like as soon as you like I've even had clients like where I'll just close my eyes and read their field as they are pitching their offer and I will immediately feel the chaos energy, the overthinking, the anxiety, and it'll be like so overwhelming on an energetic level from the client perspective. So you want to really look at how your body responds when you say your rate. Because we want to get to a neutral place where when you say your rate, it's a no-brainer. There's no like, I hope you sign up. It's like, I'm so good if you sign up and I'm so good if you don't. And the dream clients, right? The ones that you're wanting to sell into these high ticket offers. They aren't just reacting to the words or the copy. If they were, then, it would be so easy to just sign clients left and right using every like chat GPT copywriting prompt there is. But they're not reacting to their words. They're responding to the safety and certainty in your nervous system, and they can feel those fears. Right? I will also see this, and not only will I see the nervous system go into full like electrocution mode, but I will also see it completely shut down and just be numbness. And that's when people are like, I don't know if I can feel them, like something feels off. It'll almost feel like a disconnection. And we'll do this especially if you have any type of trauma response that is, of a freeze, a flight or a fawn. This is where I will see more of the numbness come in. If you're a fight, definitely is the electrocution nervous system. And the reality is with this is you have to get comfortable and rewriting what actually disappointment means for your clients. We have to clear the reason why you're fearing disappointment. So sometimes, again, this is a memory of a past experience. This is even if you read on Reddit or you saw a post of other people being really disappointed with something and you're like, oh my God, I don't want them ever to say that about me. And so this is your protection mechanism. I've seen that happen a lot. Right? Or you love your work and you have always, maybe you were as a child, you felt like you had to prove yourself and your effort and your love was never received the way that you wanted it to. And the only way that you got attention or, any type of recognition was when you were pushing and proving yourself. And so you're still defaulted to this. Sometimes it's a karmic cycle or a contract in a past life. Whatever the root cause of this fear of disappointment, we have to clear. But the once we clear it, then we have to switch and change the muscle memory because once you've cleared it energetically, then we have to bring it into the body. And this is where we want to really anchor in what the fear of disappointment actually is, right? And most it's that you really want to help people. It's not a bad thing, but it's a misguided belief in that you can control somebody else's emotions, somebody else's feelings. And the reality of it is you cannot control other people's expectations. You can't control their past experiences. And the only thing that you can do is create very clear expectations of what it would be like to work with you. And as long as you do your part of the clear expectations of delivering what you said you are going to, holding to your word, if somebody was to be disappointed, can you handle that knowing that you did everything that you promised you would? Because one of the things that will happen is when you start to over deliver out of fear of disappointment, what will happen is you will start to attract people who are always expecting more than what you deliver. I remember this for myself. I used to wear a badge of honor of under promising and over delivering. But what that created is I started to attract people and clients who were always wanting more than what, I said I was giving. It was like if it was a 45-minute session, they were always wanting, oh, well, can't we go just a few more minutes? I just have a few more questions. Or like, it's 2 weeks in Voxer, and it'd be like, oh, but on the last day, let me bombard you with 20 more questions and send you copy for you to review. And get my point? Like, what will happen is when you are trying to always over deliver out of fear of disappointment, you attract people who are going to be disappointed. So instead, we want to really anchor into this is what I deliver, this is how I deliver it, and I am okay if somebody is not happy with that. It doesn't mean anything about me, it doesn't mean anything about my offer. Now, one of my clients was circling around a massive expansion. She's a phenomenal human being. She's amazing at her work. She's a seven-figure business owner. She's no stranger to high cash months or high ticket, but she hadn't sold this six-figure offer before. And everything strategically was saying that the six-figure offer was a no-brainer, that it should sell easily. She worked with messaging experts on this offer, and yet it still wasn't selling. And so, she had the results. She had tons of social proof, testimonials, all that. Her audience was primed and ready, and yet it still wasn't selling. And then during our session, I tuned in and I found the distortion in her field, so the fear of disappointment. And the things that were coming through, Spirit was showing me the subconscious saying things like if someone pays me at this level, what happens if they regret it? It was like all of a sudden, somebody at 100K level, their level of disappointment would be way different than somebody at a $22 level of disappointment simply because of the size of the investment. But the actual disappointment is the same regardless, but we put different meanings onto the price points. And so what happened is this brought back this old identity of performing for approval, that if I can just make them happy, they will like me, that they will want to continue to work with me, that they will refer me. And once we found this thread and we cleared that energetic root where it began, the thing in her life where it began. Now, client confidentiality, I'm not going to share where it actually began in her life. But what you need to do is find the root cause, where it started, the point of origin, clear the energy, and anchor into the new truth in her system, right? I'm not responsible for their emotions. I'm responsible for my part, my alignment. And once we anchored her into that, she went out and was selling her offer. She was no longer trying to prove herself. She's like, if you want it, here it is. And within days of her selling it this way, a client who'd been quietly orbiting her stepped into her DMs and invested in the 100K offer that she had. It was clean, it was fast, it was easy. And this is what happens when you have all the strategy in place, you have all the things that should be working and they're not, and you go into the energetics and you find out why they're not. Now, most podcasts will stop here, right? But I want you to leave this episode different than you arrived. So I want to integrate it. Ask yourself, where am I still afraid that someone might be disappointed in me? Where do I dilute, geez, words are hard today. Where do I dilute my truth to avoid being misunderstood or questioned? Now take a deep breath in, feel into your body. See if when you say those statements, if you may not receive answers like clairaudience, but you may feel it in your body. Dive into that deeper. If you felt a tightening in your chest, go look at that. Ask why. Right? Breathe it into your body and find out what your body has to say about this. And then once you have done that, just take a deep breath and say, I release the need to manage the outcome. I trust that the right people find me. There you go. Okay. Now, this is exactly the work we do inside of my private one-on-one mentorship. It's not just surface level clarity. We actually dive deep into the energetic recalibration at the root, at the origin of it. And this leads to fast, high frequency conversions, right? And like the 100K of my client. Now, one of the things, if you have been holding back, if you feel the pressure to prove or the fear to, charge less than what you really want to, message me on Instagram. Let's clear this disappointment code from your field and anchor you into the frequency that calls in your next 50K, 100K, or even multi six-figure client. We get to raise the standard, and your field is the one that's leading. All right. And if you felt this was helpful, please share it on Instagram and tag me at It's Jennifer Donovan. I would. It's one of my love languages to see how these podcast episodes are supporting you. And I will see you on the next episode. Thanks for tuning in to the Magic, Money, and Marketing Podcast. If you loved what you heard today, hit subscribe and leave a review. It helps more women like you activate their millionaire frequency and step fully into their overflow era. If you're ready to create wealth that feels as good as it looks, check the show notes for the next aligned way to work together or send me a DM on Instagram at It's Jennifer Donovan. You're here for millions, magic, and more life, so let's make it inevitable.